That's what I want to talk to you about. Hear that? It's one of the most exciting sounds in the world. Bongo. Everybody's doing it. Bongo. Bongo.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, from an undisclosed location, broadcasting live around the world, it's the Jesse T Show. And here's Jesse.
Yeah. It's like a Friday in Southern California, but it's actually Wednesday. I'm so confused, man. These holidays mess me up. I love this.
Hear that?
I do.
Hear that?
I do.
Hear that?
I hear it. It's the Jesse T Show. Good to be back with you here in Southern California as the night sets over the Southland, the beautiful Pacific region of North America. God bless America and God's blue-green earth. The Brown Beauty is back on duty at www.thepowerofvoices.com. Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Download that free app. A reminder, of course, to download that free app for Apple and Android. It's free. Check out all the shows. And, of course, it is the evening before Thanksgiving. Oh, my goodness. One of my favorite days is Thanksgiving. I like it even better than 4th of July and Christmas and New Year's Eve. Yeah, I do. I love Thanksgiving because all that great food and all those specialty items that you only get once a year. I kind of like that a lot. Anyhow, we are doing our Thanksgiving show. We're going to be talking some real estate here today and jobs. What better way to kick off into what for many is going to be a 4-day holiday if you're lucky and you don't have to go back to work on Friday. Why don't you just call in sick, And for those of you who get sick pay, right on. Saying hi to Teresa Bolton. Hello, Teresa Bolton. How you doing? Where are you calling from? Chime in right now on Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero, Facebook.com/The Power of Voices, and of course our YouTube live website, The Power of Voices. And don't forget about live stream, Instagram, Snapchat, Periscope. We broadcast on those social networks as well. And also we're up live today on Bamboozle. I like that. Bamboozle. And UPeak and Upstream or Stream Up, either one, I got it wrong or I got it right, so I said them both, so I covered both angles pretty good. Your angle cutter right here, your angle cover, it's Jesse Terrero. You've entered the Jesse T Show and the world, according to yours truly, Terrero. I'm going to get straight on the point today. Before we talk about real estate, though, I've got some terrific things about real estate. Going to show you some stuff on how to sell your house for top dollar and fast. Talk a little bit about that. Also, for those of you who think you can't buy with no money down, you got to listen closely because I'm going to show you how to buy with no money down. There is a way. It's very slim and it's very narrow, but there is a way. And for those of you who can't fit into that slim, narrow kind of crevice of buying with no money down, there's another way that you can buy with very, very low to almost no money down. So I just want to kind of give you up to date on that, especially as we move off here into the holiday season. A lot of times sellers get real anxious and start dropping their prices. And with that then comes some really good deals. And of course, the interest rates are so at all-time low. I've never seen them so low before. And it looks like they're going to hold steady. Stock market's going crazy, almost 20,000. The Dow's up, the NASDAQ is up, gold's cool, silver's fine. Everything's going great, man. It's unbelievable, this Trump bump. This Trump bump, baby. It's not no baby bump. It's a Trump bump. And it's called moolah, dinero, money, 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 money. It's a Trump bump. And he's not even president yet. He's president-elect, and things are going up. But a lot of people are saying he's going to inherit a recession. It's inevitable that he's going to inherit a recession because of the small growth that we've had and the unemployment, which is not really what they're saying it is, because there's a G6 factor you got to look at other than the G4, where there are actually more unemployed people than what is actually reported. But anyways, nevertheless, they're looking for maybe a recession. So hopefully they'll be able to offset that, and we'll get some businesses back. Like Ford is not leaving. Ford decided to stay here and continue building their SUVs and their trucks here. They decided not to leave. Apple's going some cool stuff. They're going to start bringing back some iPhone assembly jobs that are all in China. So they're talking about that. Also, other good things are happening. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have gone up 90%. If you own shares of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac on Tuesday of last week, it has gone up 90% a share since President-elect Trump won the presidential contest. 90% share, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. My goodness, that's unheard of. I mean, if you get a 12% bump or 11 or 10% bump, you're doing great. But that Trump bump is working real good for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And so we hope that turns around, because as Fannie and Freddie go, so does the rest of the country in terms of loans for you and I and all the regular folks. It's really interconnected. But before I get into talking about anything more than that and what we've talked about in real estate, I have to just make a quick address about something that's really bothered me a lot. It's bothered me a lot, and it came to sort of a culmination today around 1 o'clock West Coast time, and that is all these police officers getting shot. In the last few days, 5 police officers from 5 major cities in the United States have been killed. Some of them have been execution style, ambush, coming up from behind when they're writing tickets, being shot down. Now, look at, here's the bottom line. Anybody who shoots a cop is a coward. It's just that simple. Okay? You're a coward. All right? It's that simple. If you're thinking about shooting cops, where's your decency? Okay? Because you're a hypocrite too. Because I promise you, at some point in your life, either before or now or in the future, when you want something and someone's kicking down your door or kicking down your wife's door, your daughter or your son or your grandpa or your grandma or your mom or dad or loved one, what are they going to do? They're going to call you? What are you going to do? You're not going to do nothing. You're going to call 911, and so are they. And guess who's going to arrive? Maybe those dead cops. That means nobody will arrive. See, you know, the hypocrites out there that are killing cops and that even want to talk about killing cops, that even want to entertain the idea about killing cops, no matter how corrupt they may be or not, no matter how bad they treat you or don't, or treat you well or whichever. You don't shoot cops. You don't take pot shots. A very small percentage of the police force across America, which I think is somewhere near 1 million. I think the last number I heard was maybe 700,000 or 800,000. I may be incorrect in that. A small percentage of them are bad cops. And most of them, like in the Los Angeles Police Department, get weeded out. They do. They get weeded out. The system now, in terms of being a police officer across the nation, is constitutional law. It's called constitutional policing. Now, you probably don't know anything about that because it's not something that's advertised or marketed. Being a part of the Los Angeles Police Force in an auxiliary role, that is a community police advisory board member, we learn about all this stuff. And we learned that the LAPD, and like most states and most cities and counties in America today, fall under constitutional policing. And that is, they swear to follow the Constitution. They swear to follow that everybody has rights. Everybody has equal rights and fair rights. And nobody is treated any differently or not. And they can't do any profiling as well. They can't do that kind of stuff. Now, all that stuff happened here after Rodney King got beat up over there in the city of Lakeview Terrace. And the Rodney King riots and all the things that happened after that. That's when constitutional policing came into play. You can thank Chief Willie Williams, who's no longer with us. He's passed away, from Philadelphia, who came in and replaced Chief Darrell Gates and created this thing called constitutional policing. They were doing it in Philadelphia already, and it had done some terrific things. And this is going way back into the 80s and the 90s. We're going back a long time ago. So most of your cities, police departments, and county sheriffs and state policing are all under constitutional policing. What that meant is that the rules and the parameters by which they have to move in have gotten very narrow, very narrow. And if they are seen in any way, in any capacity, stepping over those bounds, they're gone. They're gone. Now, like here in the Los Angeles Police Department, they're gone. They get pulled off, put on a desk, internal affairs checks them out, and if there's any shenanigans or wrongdoing, they're gone. Just like that. Fast and efficient. I've seen, with my own eyes, I've seen 6, 8, 10 cops over the years be fired from the Los Angeles Police Department. Now, you're talking a police force of about 11,000 people. And this is over the years. New York has a police force of somewhere near 40,000. So a very small percentage are bad. Now, saying that, to go after cops anyway is the wrong thing to do. Because cops, police officers who protect us, first off, we call on them when we need them. Secondly, they come without hesitation. They put their bodies in the line of fire for you and your family and your children. They're like firemen. They run into the bullets. Firemen run into the firehouse, the house that's on fire. Cops run into the bullets. You've seen them time and time again. They run in where the line of fire is happening. That's number one. Number two, their authority. They are the authority that keeps our country in law and order so that we don't have civil unrest. If we didn't have police officers policing our nation, we wouldn't have much of a nation. It would be run by gangs and chieftains and mafia and underground crime syndicates and entities. It would be run horribly if we didn't have police. If we didn't have law and order, this wouldn't be much of a country. Every country has to have law and order, and the United States of America police are the best in the world. You should see what some of the other police do in the other countries. If you knew what they do and how they treat their citizens, you would praise the Lord on how well our police officers treat us. Now, when you understand authority, we all have authority that we have to pay respect and homage to. We all have to live in a civil order and a civil society, otherwise chaos and anarchy happens. And when you have chaos and anarchy, then you have the National Guard coming in. And when the National Guard can't put it down and calm it down, then you have what's called martial law. I'm going to address that real quickly in a moment because I don't want to spend too much more time on this, but I had to say something. So martial law, I'll talk about that in a second because we don't want martial law. That's the last thing in the world that any American wants is martial law. That is something that if we go down that path in this country, we will never, ever come back. And that's seriously scary, okay? But you don't want a guy with an AR-15, assault tac rifle, in full-fledged military outfit and gear standing on every corner in your city. You don't want that. Well, if you create anarchy and chaos amongst the police and you overrun them, because if you think about it, like here in Los Angeles, where they say, there's 13 million people, but really there's 40 million people living here and throughout the Southern California area. And there's only 10, 11,000 LAPD and 10, 11,000 LA County sheriffs. That's 20,000 men and women to look over 40 million? Really? Doesn't work out. The equation doesn't happen. Their lines can get overrun real fast. So that's number two. You can't have that because what would be replaced is something you won't like. And number three, look, if you're going to take shots at the cops, then why don't you just get out there in the middle of the street and take a shot at a cop who's ready to shoot back? And we'll see who wins. It seems to me that a lot of these people shooting at cops are cowards. They shoot and run. They come up from behind. And you know why they do that? Because police officers are expertly trained. They're not only expertly trained in firearms and shooting, but they're expertly trained in constitutional law. And they're expertly trained on how to soften a situation, how to dissolve a situation. They're expertly trained on how not to shoot their gun. But they don't have much time. And when there's imminent danger for their lives, they have the constitutional right to protect themselves. And if they don't, they could in fact harm others in the area in which they are patrolling. Because if they can't protect themselves and they don't try, how can they protect the citizens they swore to protect under oath when they left the academy and became police officers and sheriffs? So they have a right to protect themselves. And guys, you will die. If you go up against a police officer, you will die. It's just that simple. If you create an imminent danger in his or her life, and they feel that, your life is over with. It's that simple. So that's the third reason why you don't want to shoot cops. Because don't you want to live? Now, LAPD does a pretty good job. With all these protests that we had here for about a week or so in downtown Los Angeles, they arrested, I think the last tally count was about 600 or 700 people, and they let them all go. There's only a half a dozen, a handful, maybe not a half a dozen, a handful that they actually have incarcerated and with charges. And these were the unruly ones. One had a gun, one had a knife, one was swinging a bat, these kind of things. It's stuff that they quelled squashed pretty quickly and took care of the situation. So, they're trained not to be over aggressive. So what we have to do is stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. That's the wrong way to play. And I don't care how frustrated you are and how angry you are. That's the wrong way to do it. You don't shoot cops. You don't shoot anybody unless your life is in imminent danger or your family. You have a right to protect yourself then with equal force. But you don't take shots at police officers. You say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. That's what you do with a smile on your face. That's how you deal with the situation. You fight your battle another way. You fight your battle another way. Okay? Stop it. Stop it. Okay, now, let's talk about real estate. I like real estate. I've been doing real estate since I was 19 years old. And I used to go to my mother's real estate office when I was a kid. I was like 16. She used to work as a real estate agent between, I was 13 to about 16, somewhere in there, Red Carpet Realty in North Hollywood. And I would go in there, hang out with her a little bit. But nevertheless, I've been involved in real estate for a long period of time. And over the years, I've come across folks who are selling their house and wanting to buy a house. And so I thought I'd talk about today.
Jesse, we've lost audio connection with you. Sounds like you may have a short in your mic. I'm not getting any audio. I can see you, but we can't hear you. You hit
Here?
that. Now I can hear you.
Yeah, we lost the sound. Now you can hear me pretty good.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
back.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we were
Take
down
two.
for what, about 30 seconds?
Maybe about a minute.
Yeah, okay. I figured we just lost some connection. I don't know what happened, but we're back up and rolling. So the motivation of your buyer is so very important to know. That's the most important thing. Then the motivation of why they are buying in your area. You see, that's the next thing. A lot of people don't even know why they're buying in the area that they're looking at a house. And if they don't know, then they're not going to pay the top dollar for something that they don't even know why they're there. So isolating that motivation of the buyer is so very important, because let's say they love that neighborhood because it has a lot of trees. And they just love a neighborhood that has a lot of beautiful trees. Or they love that neighborhood because there's a little stream down at the end of the street. And none of the other streets have that. Or they love that neighborhood because they love the way the style of all the houses look on that street. Or they love the school. That's a big motivating factor for people today because of the school chaos that we have going on with Common Core education, and parents can't pick the school for their kids. And so, that school that they're looking for their youngins, man, that's a great motivator. They might love that location because it's close to transportation, buses, subways, Uber, cab, because they might have an older individual that lives with them. And that's the only way they get around to their adult care center or their senior center or something like that. There's a lot of reasons why people love a location. And remember, when they're buying a house, a buyer buys on emotion. When you're buying a single family house, not when you're buying a piece of real estate like a warehouse or a commercial center or a corner or a business or something like that. When you're buying a home, it's a very emotional, personal thing. So finding that motivation, why they like your neighborhood, allows you to ask for more money for your house. Okay. The third thing is the motivation why they like your street, your street. They might like the schools, but they hate your street, and they like the street over on the other side. So you want to make sure that you ask appropriate questions to your listing broker, who can ask the buyer's agent these questions. In fact, what I always say, put together a list of questions like this. Give it to your listing broker and tell your listing broker to give it to the buyer's broker or the buyer that he or she may be working with, and get concrete answers from the list of these questions. Does a couple of things. This is an old trick that's not done anymore that I still do because I've just been doing this for so long. What it does, it cements the buyer. It's sort of like an illusionary matrix kind of thing. It cements the buyer. The minute somebody takes a pen and writes something out, something happens. It's a physical gesture that makes them think and write and do at the same time. And it really locks them in. They never forget that house, and they never forget those questions. And it makes them really think about the neighborhood, and you get some really interesting answers back, and it gives you some great information and data to know whether you're priced right or you can raise the price a little bit or like that. So motivation is real important. And then the last one, why are they buying your house? Why do they want to buy your house? It's really important. What makes your house make somebody want to buy your house versus the one across the street? See, what's the motivation? It's very important. And that's just one of the 27 things on this report that you can pick up at 818-805-4400, 818-805-4400. Out of this 27, there are 7 deadly mistakes that can cost you thousands of dollars and keep your house on the market for a lot longer. than normal. All right, let's make the switch real quick because we got to get into the next segment. We're going to be talking jobs here in just a few minutes, but let's make a switch. A lot of people say to me, well, you know, I can't afford a house today. They're so expensive. Like here in the San Fernando Valley or San Gabriel Valley of Los Angeles, the average house is about $600,000. Yeah, you can't even buy the worst areas of the San Fernando Valley or San Gabriel Valley, or for that matter, Central Los Angeles, Long Beach, wherever, for less than $450. 500. Fixer uppers. You know, I'm talking about houses that have their windows boarded up. You know, these things are going to cost you 400 plus. So the average house is about 600,000 here in the Los Angeles surrounding area until you get way out to the outskirts at the end of LA County. Then the price really drops. But you know, you're talking an hour and a half away on the freeway, and you've been watching that traffic. It's insane. So people say, "Well, I can't afford a house." I say, no, you can't afford not to buy a house. And that's my patent response. Not that you can't afford to buy a house. You can't afford not to buy a house because you already have the ability to pay for a house, unless you're living in a trash can underneath the bridge where the water runs and the antelope play all day. I mean, unless you're homeless and you don't have a job and you've never amounted to anything in terms of the ability to put something together in any way, shape, fashion, or form, you should be buying a house because that means you're probably paying rent. And if you're paying rent, no matter where you are in the United States of America, then you're paying enough money to buy a house because your rent is pretty much synonymous with the mortgage payment. In fact, a lot of times in very active city areas where the prices are more money, your rent is actually more than a mortgage payment would be. Okay, out in the rural, more country areas, smaller towns, you know, under 1 million people, your rent might be less than a mortgage will be. But certainly in the bigger cities around the country, your rent is more oftentimes than what a mortgage would be. So you can't afford not to buy a house because you're paying it already. You're already working, slaving for the man, and you're paying for it already. So the question is, why can't you buy a house? Well, I don't have the money. What do you mean you don't have the money? How much money do you think you need? Well, you need 10%, you need 20%. No, you don't have to have any money. People look at me, wait a minute, that kind of stuff ended in mid-2000s. You can't buy a house with no money down. I said, yeah, you can. It just depends if you fit the perimeter. There's a program out there that if you fit an income level parameter, which isn't too much off what the national median income is, which is $57,500, I believe now, for a family of 4, husband and wife. Okay, 2 adults. It's about $57,500. So in this particular program that this outfit does here in Los Angeles, especially and across the nation, there are others that do this because they're federally funded, state funded, and usually county and city funded. You fit an income parameter, and you can actually buy a house with no money down. All you got to do, and this is what they'll do, find the house, usually about 3.5% down. They'll bridge you out that 3.5% and grant money if you fit this program. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that people don't know. You know, and this is why I've got another report right here. And, you know, how do you buy a home with absolutely no money down? How do you do it? Well, I gave you basically the synopsis. It's a little more particular than that. You got to go through a home buyer's educational program and stuff like that. But it's available to you. You just got to get with the right person that knows how to do this stuff and where it's at. And that's me, Jesse T, Mr. Soul, Jesse Terrero. What can I tell you? I can only be me and know what I know. And that's me, of course, when you enter my world, according to Terrero, at thepowervoices.com and the Jesse T Show. So there's a report right here that I can give to you for free. Once again, just call 818-805-4400. 818-805-4400. Anytime, night and day, 24/7. It's on all the time. Leave the info, and I'll get that report out to you ASAP. It's free. There's no obligation here. I want you to have that information because I want you to understand that there are programs available for everybody in this country. You just got to know where to get them. And I'm here to tell you, I got them. Okay? It doesn't fit everybody. It's not the catch-all thing like it was in 2004. But there are programs available for folks to buy with no money down. And for those of you who make a little bit too much money over that no money down stuff, well, there are programs available for you for minimum down, like 3%. Remember I talked about Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae earlier and how they jumped 90% per share? That's a good thing because Fannie Mae offers a 3% down program. Now, you can't go Fannie Mae online and say, I want to buy a house and at 3% down. They don't do that. They work with brokers like myself who are approved by Fannie Mae to be able to consult with the buyers and bring them along and help them understand Fannie Mae and this 3% down purchase program. But 3%, FHA is 3.5%. Folks, if you served in any of the recent wars this country has been in and you are a veteran, I can get you in a house with no money down. Your FICO score only has to be 520. Guys, look it, understand this. There's hope here. Now, I can't fit and fix it all for everybody. There's no doubt about that. I can't guarantee that. But I will guarantee you this. If I can't fix it for you, I'll put you on a plan that will fix it for yourself as long as you got a job and you can work. You know, we can fix everything else from that point. It might take a month. It might take 6 months. It might take 3 years. I got people I'm working with that I've been working with for 7 years, and finally they got it together and they bought a place. I mean, that's just kind of how it is when you work with an established broker like myself. So in that respect, that's what you got to do. There are programs. So get these free reports. This is kind of the entrance pattern, you know, the entrance door for a whole world that you may not know about. And it's available for you. And it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And you'll end up talking with me and we'll have a great conversation. We might even go out and have a fat burger. I'll have the veggie burger, you know, on lettuce. But, you know, hey, that's what it's all about. All right, I've been doing this since 1979. I've been a licensed real estate broker and California broker, okay, with the BRE. License number 0093885. Look me up. I'm Jesse T, man. I'm right there. I've been doing loans as a loan specialist for 20 years. I got hard money. I got good money. I got bad money. I got expensive money. I got cheap money. I got conventional money. I got non-conventional money. I got commercial money. I got industrial. I got development money. I got film investment money. I got money coming out of my ears. I just got to find the right projects. I want you to be my project. Okay? So give us a call. If you're a seller, you cannot not have this report. Okay? I don't care if you're in Tennessee, Maine, or LA. You know, because we do go from the community to the world, and I'm on the air and everywhere. So you got to have that report if you're a seller, because it'll give you some of the key things you need to get your house sold fast. If your house isn't sold in the first month it's on, you're losing money because you're going to have to start dropping the price. Because everybody says, oh, the house has been on the market for 47 years. Okay? You got to get in and get out while the iron is hot. You got to get in there and sell that puppy. You got to get in and do it. And let me tell you, in this report, it tells you about some of the things that don't work anymore. See, that's the important thing about this report, is that there's a lot of the old-fashioned traditional ways of selling somebody's house. They just plain don't work. They don't work. Okay? But there are new ways that do work. Okay? And you got to get this report if you want to buy. You got to get this report if you want to buy. You know, come on now. You see, you don't need to be paying rent anymore. That's the bottom line to that. All right? 818-805-4400. 818-805-4400. That's my hotline for Jesse T and Win-Win-Win LLC. Real estate and loan firm. Okay, that's a whole nother business that I have. All right, you can go to the Facebook page at facebook.com/broker /Jesse Terrero Broker, or you can get in contact with us as 818-805-4400, or email at winwinwininc, it's INC, at yahoo.com. All right, so for today we learned a couple of great things that can help sellers and buyers, and we can help you. Give us a try. Let us see what we can do. Let's see if I can point you at least down the right direction to walk so you don't waste your time wasting your time. Next up here on the Jesse T Show, we're going to be jumping into some jobs. No better way to start a Thanksgiving and a holiday celebration than with a brand new job. So I'll be back with you in a second, right here on www.thepowervoices.com and the Jesse T Show on Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. Woo! All right, we're back with you at www.thepowervoices.com. Jesse T Show right here Monday through Friday at 5 all the way till 6 o'clock. And, of course, we're always there for you 24/7 at AVTV Live in the Entertainment Channel and at The Power of Voices. Hey, check us out at Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero and Facebook.com/The Power of Voices. Also on YouTube Live, The Power of Voices, as well as Stream Up, YouPeak, Bamboozle, and www.thepowerofvoices.com and www.aventertainmentlive.com, plus Instagram and Snapchat afterwards. So we're helping you get all the information you need to have a better quality of life. The Brown Beauty is on duty here now. We're jumping into some jobs, man. Thanksgiving's just around the corner. Thanking the Lord Jesus, baby. Thank you for another year. I'm here. Man, that's a celebration into itself, isn't it? You know, the older you get, the more you realize that every day you're here, it's like, whoo, baby. My mother died at 57 years old. That's 1 year older than me. When she was 56, at this time in her life, she was diagnosed with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and she was terminally dying, and she died on February 24th at 4 o'clock here in Los Angeles in 1994 at 57 years old. So, you know, I'm 56, baby, and I'm going to get through my 57th year. And that always plays on your mind, doesn't it? Sure plays on mine for a long time. So I got to get past this year. This is going to be a good year like it has been already. And hopefully it's been a good year for you and some things to be thankful for. That's important. Being thankful for what you have and being grateful for what you've acquired. The reality of life is that at the end of life, it ends real simple. You die. And you hope that you die with your eyes to the sky and a smile on your face, with your boots off, and a few people around you that love you. Isn't really? That's what it's all about. I don't care if you're worth $93 billion or you're worth 9.3 cents. It makes no difference. Life is over, and you can't take nothing with you. So it's best to live a life of gratitude every day and appreciate those around you and appreciate those people that make your life a little bit better. Don't appreciate the ones that make your life all stinky and sewer. Yuck. You know, get rid of those people. Got to get rid of the negative. Got to cut the fat out. You got to get rid of that stuff. Stay away from people who are toxic. Toxic, like bad alcohol. Toxic, like drugs. Toxic people. Got to stay away from them. Be thankful for your family and your friends coming up tomorrow, and live that thanks with honesty and sincerity in your soul. Let it come out in your eyes. Say what you say and do what you do. And this is the greatest country the world's ever created. God's blue-green earth has blessed the United States of America. That's right. We are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't know about you, but I'm going to blast the national anthem tomorrow. And anybody who wants to put a knee down on my property is going to be asked to leave. That's simple. All right, so let's talk about jobs. I mean, jobs. That's what President-elect Trump was voted in on. He's going to create more jobs. He's kind of already doing it too. Some major manufacturers are not leaving. A couple of major manufacturers are coming back. These are good paying jobs. Yeah, there's a lot of robotics involved in these assembly line type jobs anymore. Instead of 6 guys working around a car rolling down an assembly line, there's 2 guys and 4 computer arms. But that's 2 good paying jobs worth those 2 guys working 4 jobs a day making $7 an hour. Okay? This is the kind of jobs we need to have. We need to be creating more stuff in this country, manufacturing more stuff. We need to be doing that by creating a genius that we all have in America. The genius of America is the genius of Americans. That's the beautiful thing about it. We're not purebreds. We're all bread. We're like whole grain bread. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. But that's why whole grain bread is better for you than pure white bread or pure brown bread or pure black bread. See, it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And the mixture of our DNA and our genes that have produced the most genius and innovative people and creative people the world has ever seen. Go back. Europe has nothing on us. Asia had nothing on us. Africa had nothing on us. South America has nothing on us. Some of these great continents had great creations way back when, before the Dead Sea was alive and before the Dead Sea was dead. Okay? So, but, we've contributed to this world that we have today. Pat yourself on the back. Call yourself a proud American. Wave that flag, because in this country, you can get ahead if you really want to. Or you can whine and cry, stomp your feet, and throw a temper tantrum all you want. You can do that too. Do whatever you want to do. Meanwhile, your competition is moving ahead. All right, so check it out. I'm going to hook you up with some jobs, some cool side jobs. You might have a job already, but I love talking jobs because I got a job for you. And I think it's important that we all kind of always become more creative in the jobs. What makes you think you just have to do one job and the only job in the world? Why can't you do a couple other things you might find interesting on the side? Maybe you can turn it into a full-time job. So, there's something here that I think was pretty good. I mean, you can get paid. You can get paid money up to $60 an hour as a part-time bookkeeper. Now, this is amazing. Yeah, I said it. $60 an hour. $60 an hour. You want me to say it again? $60 an hour. So in a 10-hour day, that's $600. Should I say that again? In a 10-hour day, that's $600. Yeah. And you don't have to have a degree. You can go to trade tech schools and learn how to become a bookkeeper. A bookkeeper is not a CPA. A bookkeeper is not a certified accountant or a tax attorney. A bookkeeper is a bookkeeper. They earn $60 an hour. And they can work from their home remotely because everything is on computer. And those are the perks of being a bookkeeper. You can work from home, get your job done, work from your car, work from the library, wherever, because everything's on computer. And so, bookkeeping is really a great way to get a job. And there's a website that I'd like you to check out if I can bring this up, because I'm having a little bit of an internet problem. It's a little bit slow right now. I guess everybody's off of work, Everybody's zapping the pipeline, baby. That's right. And so it's a little bit slow here. No matter how big my pipeline is in the house, it's still got to go out into the pipeline of the world. It's like a big pipe going into a little pipe. It's all getting squeezed down. Okay, there's a website called learntobeabookkeeper.com. All right, you ready? Learntobeabookkeeper.com. How to start and grow your business, virtual bookkeeping business. It's cool. Yeah, I think I might do that. Learntobeabookkeeper.com. And we're not talking about somebody that keeps books. I already have 4,500 books. I don't need any more. But this is talking about making money. $60 an hour. Learntobeabookkeeper.com. Very cool stuff, huh? All right, here's another one that I thought was pretty good. You can, if you like to earn an extra $700 a month, how about this one? An extra $700 a month. How would that change your life? Making $700 a month for evaluating search engines. There's so many. I guess there's got to be millions of search engines. Of course, the big ones are Google and Safari and Chrome, and Yahoo used to be good, but it's kind of backwards now. But these search engines, okay? $700 a month for evaluating search engines. Would that be cool? You could do that with your cat in your lap. You can do that drinking a hot tea or a 7-Eleven Slurpee, which I can't have because I'm training for the Spartan Challenge on December 10th. So this is what you got to do here. Let me explain this. Search engines use complicated algorithms to determine the results you see when you see them, okay? So if you type the name of one of your writers, like maybe Steve Gilliam, okay, into a Google search box, 500,000 possible relevant web pages will be narrowed down using various criteria until a second later you see the guy's smiling face, right? So you'll see all the links to his personal website, his blog, on Huffington Post, and other things on LinkedIn, whatever he's got up from a bunch of guys who share his name. But the search engines don't always get it right. They're full of errors. So this is something interesting. So they need real humans to look at the results and judge them for quality, relevance, and usefulness. Now, if you're interested in this type of work, there's a great article that you might want to check out online, and I think you might want, this might probably help you, okay? How to get paid up to $12 an hour as a search engine evaluator. I mean, you sit around for 3-4 hours a night, right? Make yourself what, another extra $40-50? You do that 5 days a week, that's $250. There you go, that's $1,000. Go to the Penny Hoarder, PennyHoarder.com, and look for the article that says how to get paid $12 an hour as a search engine evaluator. Okay? That's very cool stuff. So it's easy. It just takes effort. So you see, I got a job for you. I got a job for everybody. All right, let me go down here and check out a couple of more, which I thought were pretty cool. You know, so many great jobs out there that you can do that we don't think about, especially older people. They don't think about these things because they're out of the loop. Okay, most everybody my age is out of the loop. So how about this one? This is kind of interesting. I think you might learn this. I like this one better. You can become an online tutor. So if you know something special, like you're a plumber and you know something, or you know something unique, you have a special understanding of something and a knowledge that nobody else has but everybody wants. Education is the world's leading industries. Did you know that? That's why I see so many things on the internet, come get educated here, whatever. But you can become a tutor, private tutoring market alone. It made something like over $100 billion last year. It's unbelievable. I didn't know that. So I got a job for you. How about right here? Go to tutor.com, tutor.com. Instructors earn anywhere from $13 an hour and up. So just share your knowledge. You can be rewarded handsomely, okay? So you can become an online tutor. It's very cool stuff. Stuff that you can do, anybody can do. And so that's what we like to go over here on the Jesse T Show. We usually do this on Wednesday, and it is Wednesday, so we didn't want to deviate from it at all. And the reason why we do this, because we couple it together with real estate. Because real estate and making money go hand in hand. And I'm always helping folks make more money. Because the more money you make, the more money I make. When you say, how do you do that? Because the more money you make, right? The more money I make, because you come back to me and come back to me and come back to me. Because I helped you out with the right information. There you go. And by coming back to me, I get more shares and more views, and I'm able then to market that out. So I help you first, you help me second. Sort of how it works. We're a community, and that's what we talk about at the powervoices.com. We are a community, and our community must take care of itself because there's nobody else taking care of us. So we have to take care of ourselves in this crazy community that we live in now, called the world. So that's why I always love to talk jobs. And, as time goes on, we're going to have more and more type jobs here that we can talk about. Last time we talked about Anheuser-Busch was hiring and that kind of those kind of jobs. So we were talking about that last time. So we're going to have more and more of that type of jobs coming up here. And especially into the new year and after the holidays, we're going to start getting some of these human resource recruiters. And so you don't have to go to those big, stupid conferences looking for a job. We're going to actually do some hiring here on the Jesse T Show. So there you go. Hey, I got a job for you every Wednesday right here with the Brown Beauty on duty at www.thepowerofvoices.com and AVTV Live, your entertainment channel, on our digital broadcasting TV and radio network. We're always there, ready for you to help you out in many ways and all kinds of different pieces of information from all our great hosts. But always you can catch me every day here as we do our thing, as you enter the world according to Torero, and we get you straight on the point. That's what it's all about. Now, just a few more seconds, a few more minutes about our police officers as we wrap up the show. And Thanksgiving is tomorrow. One of the things that we have to understand is that not everything is perfect. Not everything is ever going to be perfect. And we do have challenges and issues in our country. We have more, it seems like, than we ever did before, but do we really? Look at it from a different perspective. The reason why we seem to have more challenges and issues in this country is because we have the advantage of technology. 24/7, everybody has a smartphone with a microphone and a camera. And we get everybody's point of view from every direction. Before, things would happen just like they happen now, and in many cases, worse. If you look at America historically and the world, in many cases, worse. But we, because of our technology in the day and age that we live, we get bombarded with so much information. Some of it is truthful, some of it is lies, some of it is geared towards moving you in a certain direction, some of it is not. But the bottom line is we get overwhelmed. This frontal lobe right here, which holds all of that information that comes into our ears and our eyes and our nose and our mouth, and all of this information that comes in here, into the frontal lobe first, and then it sends the things where it needs to go. It's only this big, It gets bombarded and overloaded. And once human beings become overloaded logically and with common sense, what happens is they reach out emotionally. And once emotion takes over, as you know, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know, then irrationality takes over. We have to pull back. We have to understand Nothing is different than ever before. That gives you the perspective to change today in a positive way. Change today so that tomorrow will be better. And the one thing about the United States of America, every year, every 10 years, every 50 years, things get better. Slow, not as fast as we want them to be, but they get better. So have some gratitude and appreciation for those that protect us, our heroes. Be kind to them, and they will be kind to you. Reach out and say thank you. Reach out and say, thanks for protecting my family. Our police, our firemen and firewomen, our EMTs, our people that run to the threshold of danger while we run away, and our military, and our new president-elect. Be thankful for this great country. This is the Jesse T Show, broadcasting live right here on ABTV Live, on the Digital Broadcasting TV and Radio Network of thepowervoices.com. You've entered the world according to Torero. I bid you adieu. I let you out. Have a great night and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Be thankful for what you got, because you never know when it might not be there. You're straight on the point. The brown beauty is off duty. See ya. Happy Thanksgiving.